Hey everyone, this isn't going to be as interesting a video for a lot of you because it's not really going to be talking about anything to do with religion or spirituality or atheism or anything like that. It's going to be talking about my other passion in life, which is movies. And I mainly want to talk about the new fad, in my opinion, that's what it is, which is 3D. This is something that has really become pervasive in the last few years, and now we're getting films that are kind of specifically made to be watched in 3D, as with what I just saw today, which was Resident Evil, and you have films like the new Saw film, which is now not called Saw 7 or however many there are at this point, which is it's supposed to be the last one as well. It's now called Saw 3D, and there's this Disney film called The Hole, which is the whole 3D. Which is coming out soon, and it smacks of this kind of jumping on the bandwagon thing, because remember when the Nintendo 64 came out, where if you're still old enough you probably remember that there were so many games that came out and they were just all games, but they had 64 in the end, so it was like Super Mario 64, Wave Race 64, Pilot Wings 64, and when the year 2000 came along, there were so many different things that were just called. They added 2000 on it, So it just seems that kind of just trying to apply to as many different people as possible, to try and get the bums in the seats and trying to watch the films. First off, I don't like the ploy of actually forcing me to pay extra to watch a 3D film. Now I have an unlimited card, so I can go, for a flat fee each month. I can go and see films as many times as I want, but I have to actually pay extra to go and see a 3D film. Now I don't mind this. I know that 3D is a more expensive film to project, and you're gonna have to employ extra people, and so you're gonna have to pay like an extra surcharge. I don't have anything wrong with that. What I don't like is the fact that it was only in 3D, so I had absolutely no choice but to pay this extra money if I wanted to watch this film. Now, surely they're going to release this film on DVD, so they're going to have to do a 2D version of it anyway. So would it have killed them to just do a 2D version, maybe in like half the times that the 3D screens were broadcasting it? Would that have been too hard? And another thing as well, I do think that 3D is a fad. I mean, it's going to go the way of HD DVD, in my opinion. It's been here since the 50s, and it's gonna. It just seems like the new thing that people can make money off and exploit the technology. And basically, it is all about money. People can. The distributors can charge more for films, and all they have to do is just add a few flashy 3D things, like an axe going through the screen, or various things like that, and they can charge more money for it, and they can be somewhat justified in doing that. I mean, I wouldn't go and see a 3D film personally. I think it's a fad, and so I wouldn't do it if I didn't have to. But with this Resident Evil film, I did have to. And one of the things I also don't like about 3D is that it seems to add a lot of gratuitousness into films. This Resident Evil film, there was a lot of things in it that were just purely there just to show off the 3D technology, and I don't like that, because to me it seems as if it's doing it only for the technology, and it's not adding anything to the film. Now I'm not for 1 second suggesting that Resident Evil Afterlife was going to be any sort of artistical expression or movie masterpiece, but there were still things there that wouldn't have been there had the 3D technology not been used, and it may have even helped the story a bit more, instead of just adding these things that were purely there to make people go, whoa, almost as if it came right through the screen. And that's one of the things I don't like. I hate gratuitousness in films. I'm a movie traditionalist, I guess you could say. When I see a movie, I want to see it the way the director originally intended it. So that's why I'll probably go out the way into watching director's cuts and not the ordinary theatrical cuts of films. So I watch the and I'll try and watch the longer versions of films as well. So when I watched Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, I made sure I watched the long 3.5 hour version. When I watched Wolfgang Petersen's Das Boot, I made sure that I watched the mini version 5 hour cut, which was, you know, quite a plough to get through, but a very good film nonetheless. And it just seems, I just don't like people adding things to films. So I hate when people went back and changed E.T. so that the guns were taken out and replaced with walkie-talkies. I don't like the enhancements that George Lucas did to his Star Wars films. You know, to me, they represent a time and a place, not just for the movie, but for the time that it was made as well. I don't know if I'm making much sense here. It's that I don't like to see. I don't want films to be enhanced. I want films to stay as true to the original cut as is possible. That's why, you know, I prefer to watch a black and white film rather than watch the colour version, which I think they did with It's a Wonderful Life. You know, the technology, yes, it may be better. Yes, you may be able to add some extra fucking space monsters into a place in Mos Eisley or something. Yeah, I'm not a very big Star Wars fan. But that does not make it better. And yes, you can, you know, tweak, add better sound effects, but it takes away from the time that the film was made. There were only certain things that you could do at this time, special effects wise, especially with regards to any sort of big budget film that was made in the, you know, the 70s and the 80s, and to a certain extent the 90s. But it speaks of the time that they were made, and that's the kind of thing that I want to, you know, appreciate. I want to appreciate the what they had at the time, and how good that they made the effects, given the substandard technology that they had then, which it wasn't then, but with regards to it now. I love the Evil Dead films, right? And I would hate for people to go back and put any sort of fancy graphics in them, because these films were made with a very low budget, and the effects reflect that, and I love them because they really suit the film well. If you go back and just, for instance, the big chicken-headed, long-necked monster in Evil Dead 2, you know, if you went back and just replaced it with, you know, great CG effects, yeah, it would probably look better, but it would take away from what the film is and what the film was and what the film will be for future generations. And that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to get across here. Maybe the director wished that the effects would be better, but you know what? They didn't have the equipment at that time. It was a very low budget film that Sam Raimi was trying to make. And the films, the Evil Dead trilogy that he ended up making were absolutely fucking fantastic. And the effects are part of that. As bad as they are, I think they complement the film, and I think they work very well together. And just trying to alter films, you know, and just don't get me started on it. You know, well, actually, I get myself started. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. A bit of a rambly rant. I'm sorry. Probably nobody made it this far, but congrats if you did. Cheerio.